Eloy playing right field. It's been an odd topic to talk about because it hasn't been super clear on what the plan is. He might play there 1 or 2 times a week, according to Pedro Grifol on Inside the Clubhouse on 670 The Score. But he's told Vinny some other stuff, and Eloy had his own comments yesterday. We did play one comment specifically, but I want to just play this kind of super cut of Eloy talking about right field. And the first question was, has the coaching staff talked about him embracing the DH position? And here's his answer.
Well, not really. We were talking, and he just say I was talking to the manager, and he said that we're gonna be more in the right field than left field, because Benintendi is here now. But we don't talk about DH a lot, so that was one of the things.
I know it's your desire to play outfield, but if you were asked to DH, would you, and spend most of your time DH, would you embrace that role as DH?
I don't know, because like I say early, last year, because I was DHing more than outfield, it was because I got surgery, and I understand that. But this year I've been working really hard to play in the outfield more than DH. So I don't really think that I'm gonna accept it, because if I'm working hard, it's because I want to get better and I want to play in the outfield.
So interesting stuff there from Eloy, just on what the conversations have been with Pedro Grifol. But Pedro also told you what he's talked about with Rakan about Eloy playing the outfield, and what he's told Eloy. So what did he tell you?
Yeah, well, if you'll remember, during the Andrew Benintendi introductory press conference,
media cycle,
Pedro was asked about Eloy. Hey, that guy sitting next to you, he's your left fielder now. Does that mean Eloy is the full-time DH? And Pedro set everyone's brain buzzing by mentioning Eloy Jimenez and right field in the same sentence. So I asked him to kind of talk about that a little more when we sat down after the press conference. And he said to me, Eloy's a dynamic offensive player. Everybody knows that he can be one of the best offensive players in the game. Benny comes in. He's a left fielder. That's what he's always played. In speaking to Rick, Eloy has also had some experience in right field. I think when he signed, he was a right fielder. I talked to Eloy. He's all in. He's a professional. He knows what we're trying to do. And I told him, obviously, Benny's coming here to play left field, and I need you to continue to practice in left, play some right field, just in case there's a need out there in right field. And he said, whatever it takes to win baseball games. I'm in this thing to play October baseball. That's what this is about. And I said, that's all we need to hear. Our job is to keep Eloy in the lineup throughout the whole year, and if we can do that, if he can stay healthy, I know he'll have a big year for us. That doesn't quite sound as severe as the reaction has been, obviously, but some things have come up since then. He talked to 670 The Score, did Pedro Grifol, and said he'd like to see Eloy in right field once or twice a week. And then obviously we had the comments from Eloy himself yesterday. It doesn't sound like it's, barreling toward Eloy Jimenez is going to be a regular right field fixture. But that being said, as I wrote today and as we talked about yesterday, there's still so much unknown when it comes to Oscar Colas, and maybe that's just a factor of him being someone who hasn't played Major League Baseball before, that it's hard to see the possibility of Eloy being out there or anybody being out there that isn't Oscar Colas completely going away.
My thoughts on this Eloy situation have been just marinating through my mind. It's like, why did we give away Jose Abreu if Eloy Jimenez is going to be in the outfield sometime? We could have had all three of these guys. We could have had Eloy Jimenez. We could have had Andrew Vaughn. And we could have had Jose Abreu. That's what I'm mad about, because the thing is, you wanted to get Andrew Vaughn out of the outfield. That was the main problem, right? Because he was terrible there. And so to do that, you need to get Jose Abreu off first. Cool, let him go. So my understanding is like, since you did this, that means Eloy is out of the field and he's more DHing. And it might eventually turn out to be that. But right now, I'm thinking about, like, we didn't replace the production of Jose Abreu, and now we're going to have a similar team without him, just replacing him with Andrew Benintendi, who's not going to replace the numbers that Jose Abreu put up there. And we talked about the void of leadership that's left by Jose Abreu. That's where I'm at right now. It's like, either you talked to Eloy and made him understand, hey, man, it's cool that you want to play outfield. You should want to play outfield. As Sleepy Harold says, a 26-year-old guy should not want to just be retired to be a DH. That's understandable on his part. Mm-hmm. I don't blame Eloy at all. He should want to play the outfield because that's how he gets down. And I've seen him make plays in the Futures game in San Diego where he jumped over the wall and almost injured himself. Great play.
But he was also like 21.
Yeah, but it's not like we didn't have to get rid of Jose Abreu. Or if you just wanted to get Jose Abreu off the team, cool, because the number was too high. There was other fielders. There was Mike Conforto available. There were other right fielders. Michael Brantley was available, who's more of a left fielder, but you could have said to people, okay, Michael Brantley is our right fielder, and we were like, all right, that's fine. You had Pollock at right field, penciled in right field last year. That will be an upgrade from what that is. So I just don't know where their offseason plan was, if this is just going to lead to Eloy playing a decent amount, not majority, a decent amount in outfield. You could have just kept Jose, or you could have went and got another player that supplements what Jose did and have Eloy sprinkle in left field, sprinkle in right field once in a while, but for the most part, playing designated hitter. So that's why I'm disappointed. And you could have, it doesn't make sense to me to lose Jose Abreu and just have the same situation going on this year that you had last year.
I think it's interesting to think about like all 7 of those players, like the core 6 plus Andrew Benintendi on the team at the same time, and Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets being the DH. And I think that goes back to, again, when Eloy hurt himself in spring training. Like, that was supposed to be the plan. Eloy was supposed to be the left fielder for this team, and Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets were supposed to be the lefty-righty DH platoon. And they were supposed to, be the young guys that didn't have to do too much besides hit.
And Pollock was going to be the everyday right fielder.
Right. And then, well, here goes Eloy, and it's just like, I don't understand the one part from Pedro. Like, it seems like Eloy still wants to advocate for his ability to play the outfield, but in talking to Eloy, it seems like Pedro isn't worried about if Eloy has to play DH. Says, it's all about winning baseball games. So if Eloy has to play DH to win baseball games, and that's what's best for the team, I think Eloy Jimenez will do that. But also,
what's he going to do? Sit on the bench?
Right. Well, but and also too, like, I think the part of this this conversation too is like, I don't know if we need to give Eloy too much power in this situation, because again, it's like the White Sox can say no and hold him back from that situation. It's just like when you talk to Jimmy Lambert and him saying, I want to be a starter. Of course you do. You want to get paid more. Starters get paid more than relievers. Outfielders get paid more than DHs. Like, I don't think that's also a possibility of this angle for Eloy Jimenez, and not faulting him for that. You should be able to get paid as much as you want. And you see Aaron Judge getting $365 million. Well, if he could play the outfield, and you could play the outfield and hit just as good as him, we look at the second half numbers when Eloy was healthy. He was up there with Aaron Judge with weighted runs created plus numbers. Like, of course he's going to be like, oh, that number's real nice. I'd like that number for myself. Like, he sees himself as a top baseball player, and I think that's why he is kind of advocating for himself. I just don't know what it actually is going to end up being. Like, I don't know what the platoon's going to end up being, but I do want to more talk about, was it possible for the White Sox to add Andrew Benintendi and have Eloy Jimenez actually play right field? Because Pedro says he's talked to Rick Hahn and has talked about Eloy Jimenez's ability to play right field. 111 career minor league games for Eloy in right field.
Yeah,
that's
again,
the experience.
I don't think this is something where people are, I really don't see this ending up with Eloy Jimenez being like the right fielder.
No.
The possibility is out there, and I think that's why there's reason for these questions and conversation, because we don't know what Oscar Colas is going to do. And we don't know what he's going to do in spring training, and there's a possibility that he doesn't prove himself ready for that kind of a job. And then you got to go to plan B, which at this case might be Eloy. But I think right now the main reason that Pedro's saying what he's saying, that Eloy is practicing playing right field, it's about flexibility. It's about versatility. And it's about Oscar Colas does great, wins the everyday job. Congratulations, Oscar Colas. But guess what? Sometime in June, he rolls his ankle and he's got to go on the IL for 10 days. So someone's got to go play right field. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if you could take your best hitter and keep him in the lineup, and he can help you out in right field.
And wouldn't it be great to get like 3 at-bats from Eloy Jimenez where you can have Andrew Vaughn be the DH, Eloy play the outfield and right field, Benintendi play left field, and then Billy Hamilton or Jake Marisnick or whomever can play the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning as a defensive replacement.
You
right?
could do
like,
that.
Isn't that how baseball works? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, as much as everybody wants to do this video game style and set 9 guys in order and say, all right, that's it every day for 162.
Stamina off.
Stamina off.
Injuries off.
Stamina is not off in real life. And so you're going to see 100-something different lineups. That's what every team in baseball does. The teams that win the World Series do that, and the teams that finish last do that. It's just the way it works. And so there are going to be days when Yasmani Grandal needs to DH. There are going to be days when they want to give that DH spot to Gavin Sheets. I mean, I'll ask you this right now. If Oscar Colas gets a day off in right field, I'm not talking about who has the least chance of getting injured. I'm saying who's better defensively in the outfield, Eloy or Gavin Sheets?
Eloy Jimenez. I mean, I don't.
I think Gavin's more competent.
No.
Eloy's a better athlete. Gavin's more competent.
No, I like when Eloy plays the outfield, I don't mind him playing the outfield on routine fly balls. The problem with Eloy is the injuries. I don't care about the actual player playing left or right field. That's the only concern I have for Eloy. And I know people in the White Sox organization don't like him labeled as injury prone, but damn it, he is injury prone.
Well, no, you don't even have to call him that. You can just say, let's look at what has actually happened. Yeah. He's gone to the IL 3 times, once missed months in a row for things that happened while he was playing left field. Yeah. You don't have to call him injury prone. I mean, he might not be injury prone. It might just be bad luck, and that's what you can call it.
I mean,
it's
I
not
don't think
about
it's a,
being
like
injury
a
prone
derisive
or not.
term. It's just the facts. He is.
Well, but you don't even. My point is, you can make your point without even using that word.
Okay.
You don't even have to get into the argument of whether he is or not. You can just say, Eloy Jimenez has injured himself multiple times playing left field. Maybe he would have a lower chance of repeating such a thing if he didn't play the field as much.
Ever. That would be my thing. But the White Sox are, I don't know why they're not being harder on this. And I know it could just be a smokescreen, as Vinny says. Hey, just be flexible. Be ready to go. We're not going to take your glove away from you. We're going to be still counting on you to play right field or left field.
Pedro even used the term, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case you needed him in right field. And when that's what he said, I'm like, well, that makes sense. Just in case. You don't want Edwin Encarnacion as your DH where you can't play him in the field anywhere. But, you know what I mean? You have Eloy Jimenez, and yeah, he's the DH, but he can help you in a pinch.
And this is the only reason I say it, because past his prologue, the White Sox have had people in the outfield that shouldn't be in the outfield last year. And so I don't want them saying something now, and then when the season goes on, something else happens where Eloy's playing right field for the majority of the time. I'm like, I don't like that. I do not like that. Like,
he won't be playing the majority of the time.
If Oscar Colas is not Oscar Colas that we expect him to be in spring training, or he comes up here and he is not good, who's playing right field?
I don't think it'll be Eloy. I think they still need a
Gavin
DH.
Sheets?
It could be Gavin Sheets.
That's
it could
not
be
good
Leary
either.
Garcia. It could be Jake Marisnick. It could
None
be
of these
Victor
are good.
Reyes.
None of these
I never
are good.
said they're good, but that's who it could be. Like, we talked about the estimation of Pedro Grifol saying 1 to 2 weeks for Eloy. Like, I don't know why. Like, why is their plan B rushing their best player into a tough situation? Like, him being part of that solution, sure, but him being the solution, that makes no sense.
Here's the
Colas goes down or whatever.
Here's the thing. I said this yesterday. It was the crux of my story today. It's not surprising that Eloy was talking about playing at the outfield yesterday. It is surprising that we're talking about it, and not because we know better or every White Sox person knows better. It's because the White Sox went and made Eloy Jimenez, the left fielder, obsolete. They went out and they got Andrew Benintendi, and they said, well, sure, you're a left fielder, but we've got a better one.
Right.
Why don't you go DH? No, now it's why don't you DH and play some right field? They could have made Eloy Jimenez the right fielder obsolete too. Mm-hmm. And maybe they will. Maybe Oscar Colas will do that. But right now, while we're still 3 weeks from spring training and we have nothing else to talk about, they haven't done that yet. And so this is still a conversation until it isn't anymore.